First look at the forecast. Here's weather specialist Noor Rafat. Hey, Noor.
Hey, thanks very much, Kevin. Well, some of our viewers during this broadcast could be seeing a large red banner with some white writing on it warning of a possible tornado. And that's because of a very dangerous situation unfolding in northern parts of the province, northeastern parts of Ontario, that has prompted that tornado warning. We're seeing a severe thunderstorm possibly producing a tornado, winds at 110 and that is in the area around the shores of Timiskaming and into or near the municipality of Temagami. That is tracking to the northeast near the border of Quebec. So we're seeing severe thunderstorm warnings in place for areas like Ville-Marie in anticipation of potentially that what could be a tornado tracking further east across the border and into that province. Now, we do have many community members that are under a severe thunderstorm watch for the possibility of maybe tornadoes, but also hail, strong winds and downpours. If you are in these areas in yellow, you should also be staying home and not venturing outdoors in the next few hours because of that risk. All fueled, of course, by some severe heat and humidity. A lot of moisture in the air continuing to feed those thunderstorms, and that excessive heat will remain in place until Thursday for those areas that you saw in pink. Humidex values near the 40s and little relief in the overnight. And indeed, it is sweltering out there. St. Catharines 42, our friends in Peterborough 40, Ottawa 40, 35 in Kingston. The risk continues this evening for severe weather around southwestern Ontario up to the north and continuing into Quebec. But as you head into your day tomorrow, a low pressure system arrives, pushing those thunderstorms further south. And guess what? Now they will be making their way into the GTHA and eastern Ontario into the late morning, afternoon, and continuing into the evening. So Toronto expected to be sweltering hot and humid. 39 is what it will feel like. Risk of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Kevin?
Thanks so much, Noor. And all right, let's check in on the weather with weather specialist Noor Rafat. Now, Noor, it seems like temperatures are really up in a lot of places, but sometimes what goes up, I should say, must come down.
Yes, that's certainly the case, Kevin, for the prairies, which is good news. Of course, the past little while, we've been talking a lot about high heat and how it's been encompassing much of the country. Well, now relief is on the way for those areas in the prairies with temperatures back to around seasonal ranges. For some, though, in central and eastern Canada, it is getting hot and humid, and we know what that means. Active weather on the way. Let's take a look at that pattern in the next few days. Well, tomorrow, expecting possibly stormy conditions in the afternoon. The risk of thunderstorms rolls in. You'll see some of that wind pick up as well. 30 degrees for that high, feeling closer to 39, but some cooler conditions, or some cooler winds, I should say, on the way heading into the evening. Here is that ridge in the jet stream, all that warm air pushing further north into Quebec around Hudson Bay as well. By the way, some heat warnings in place over there, which is not normal during this time of year. Of course, dangerous due to the dryness in that region. It is above average for parts of the prairies tomorrow still, but they will cool down to those low 20s, even single-digit lows for the overnight. What we're dealing with is, thanks to all of that heat and humidity, the severe thunderstorms bubbling up once again, and they will be the story for the next 7 days or so, on and off, of course. So here we are looking at the severe thunderstorm chance bubbling back up tomorrow in southern Ontario, parts of the southwest and further east into the late morning, afternoon and into your evening. We get into some high pressure later Monday and Tuesday, so you'll see a lot of sunshine in the latter half of Monday. Tuesday, sunny all the way through in the south and the east, but you can see up in the north there are some thunderstorms developing around the border of that high pressure, and eventually you'll start to see more of this active weather push through in southern sections of the province later on this week. So we're talking potentially Thursday when we could see more of that thunderstorm activity in Toronto after we get through those thunderstorms come tomorrow. So 23 degrees overnight tonight, which is quite warm in Toronto, 21 in London, 21 in Windsor as well, with some rain, potentially some thunderstorms. Tomorrow, 30 degrees in Toronto, maybe 29 in Oshawa, 30 Hamilton, Brantford and Niagara Falls. Sweltering conditions there. And here we are looking at a lot of sunshine on Tuesday, as we mentioned, with that humidex. Watch the humidex remain around that 36 degree range for all the way until Thursday. Really some rain on the way there, and then Friday, Saturday into Sunday in Toronto. I'm not going to say it's going to be cool, but those humidex values will feel closer to 30 degrees in Toronto. So a bit of a relief relief there. We are maybe expecting some thunderstorms, if not some wet weather, for this following Sunday in Toronto.
Toronto is facing another heat warning today. Officials with Environment Canada say this is ahead of a prolonged period of sweltering temperatures. Our Lexi Benedict has more on how Toronto residents are finding ways to cope.
A wave of extreme heat has taken over the city of Toronto once again.
It's a 5-day event. It's not intensely warm as what we saw 3 weeks ago, but it is still uncomfortable for some.
Hot and humid conditions that will not only feel sticky, but will be sticking around.
If we get some rain tomorrow, tonight, and tomorrow, that would just add more humidity to the airs.
It's way too hot.
She says it's hot. It's amazing.
And this heat has many flocking to the 57 pools open across the city.
I'm doing good. The water's amazing, and it's such a good day. The heatness, not so great, but still really fun.
Thank God. I was waiting for the sun.
Some outdoor pools will be open until 11:45 p.m. with extended hours.
It's a great way for us to just get comfortable.
More than 500 cooling centers across the city will remain open, and more than 100 additional shelter spaces have been activated.
I just try and stay in shaded areas, go swimming, and of course air conditioning.
I'll probably have an excuse to go to the beach every day, so I'll take it.
This stretch of sweltering heat is expected to last until the end of the week, and many people here say they're going to be taking advantage of the extended hours at pools across the city. Lexi Benedict, Global News.
Time now for our first look at the forecast. Here's weather specialist Noor Rafat. Hey, Noor.
Hey, thanks very much, Kevin. Oh, nice to see people flocking outdoors and taking advantage of those public pools, as Lexi showed us, because yes, those temperatures have been brutal. Your high 34 today, feeling closer to the 40s with the humidex, and that was something that was shared across large parts of Ontario. We're seeing that excessive heat warning extend all the way from the southwest to the east. It's good to be mindful of that heat, but it's also good to be weather aware during that heat, because that high heat and humidity has sparked some serious storms that continue at this hour. The east cells especially were tornado warned earlier in the day on the Ontario side of things. So near the Temiskaming border, as it pushed east into Quebec, as that system progressed, we're still seeing severe thunderstorm warnings in place for our folks in Quebec, and for the most part severe thunderstorm watches remaining in place as well for this evening. Parts of northern Ontario and northern Quebec continue to be impacted by this activity overnight tonight. Now we're also seeing a slight risk of thunderstorms around southwestern Ontario into the overnight. Tomorrow, the risk gravitating towards the GTA and further east. So we've got a low pressure system that'll move those thunderstorms around Toronto and the GTHA, Cottage Country, further east. That is into the early afternoon and continuing into the late afternoon and early evening as well. So in Toronto today, yes, you may have enjoyed those great outdoors. Tomorrow, do be mindful that there is a risk of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Not going to last all day, but the heat, though, that will take a time to push out. 29 degrees, your high, feeling closer to 39 with the humidity. Kevin?
Thanks so much, Noor. A new record. All right, time for a check-in with weather and the weather specialist, Noor Rafat. Now, this has been a pretty serious summery July, right?
Yes, seriously, Mother Nature turning up the dial the past little while, Kevin, including into parts of June as well. We've been watching those temperatures climb across large parts of the country the past little while. This is the story heading into the next few days as well. The good news is there's relief on the way for parts of the prairies.
Okay.
Other parts of central and eastern Canada, though, we're going to have to wait a little while longer. And with that high heat and high humidity, the risk of thunderstorms bubbles up yet again in Toronto into the afternoon and into your early evening potentially as well. Windy conditions could be possible at times. Your high 29, but don't be fooled by those temperatures. 39 is what it will feel like. Humidity will be the big story in the next few days in central and eastern Canada, as we mentioned. The ridge and the jet stream, there it is, all that warm air traveling somewhere. And it's to the north, all the way up in northern Quebec, where we're seeing those excessive heat warnings in place. Labrador as well, parts of that region. It is still warm, in parts of the prairies, but yes, those will cool down in the next few days. Not everyone will see equal cool down, so northern Alberta still sticking with that above average heat through much of this week, and that will mean drier conditions, riskier conditions for those fires. In the meantime, calmer conditions for southern sections of Saskatchewan, Manitoba into this weekend, which is good news as well. Not calm on this side of the country, quite active actually. The risk continues overnight tonight into northern Ontario, northern Quebec, southwestern Ontario as well, and by tomorrow here is that thunderstorm risk in the GTHA by the lunch hour and extending east and into your evening. By Monday, we get into periods of high pressure that will last into Tuesday. So we're looking at sunshine, dry conditions, but you can see there is that thunderstorm activity developing on the outskirts of that ridge. And eventually, as we see those temperatures climb quite significantly into the next few days, we will see that thunderstorm risk return later on into the latter half of this upcoming week. So Thursday, we could see those thunderstorms return in Toronto, and that will provide some relief from that sweltering heat, and that is when we expect to see those excessive heat warnings lift as well. So Wednesday, thunderstorm activity. Thursday, as I mentioned, potentially seeing some thunderstorm activity. Drier for Friday and Saturday, still above average, and there could be a chance to see some thunderstorms as well heading into your Sunday, if not some rain possible too.
Meanwhile,